What does pledging allegiance really mean? It's more than just words. It's taking responsibility. It's getting involved in our democracy. I'm Allison Daskell-Hausman, and this is The Pledge. It's a podcast profiling people who have pledged to engage in our democracy.
You know, it's not really a choice to not be involved at this point. I feel like work needs to get done, and if I want to be a part of that, I gotta get in there and do it.
Listen to The Pledge, be inspired, and get involved. Political turmoil is all around us. And I know, for me at least, outrage and moments of despair are part of every day. Whether it's images of people suffering on the border, court decisions threatening rights we women have over our bodies, or just the fact that U.S. policy seems reduced to an impulsive tweet in the middle of the night. One way I counter the despair is by talking with people and hearing how they're coping and moving forward. So for our last episode of our bonus mini-season, Pledge sound designer Tina Toby Mack and I hit the streets to ask people the question we've been thinking about all year. What's your pledge?
I pledge to be a good citizen, to speak up when I see things that are going wrong, and hopefully within my own personal space make a difference.
I pledge to always use my voice in the best way that I can.
I wanted to say, my pledge is to change the world, but, that's big. So my pledge is to find real ways that are making at least a small amount of change.
What is my personal pledge? My personal pledge is that I'm going to do my part to make my small community and the space around me and the world we live in a better place. I want my son and all young kids to grow up in a space where they feel accepted and like they can do anything.
I can't say there is a specific pledge I've made, but I guess right now I can pledge to be a better listener. I feel as if people in the United States are more and more divided over political and social issues.
No one really, cares, you know what I mean? I feel as though they don't really care about, people like me and in my position.
I wish that there was a way or a forum where people could address their differences and discuss their differences together in a way where people wouldn't feel threatened or belittled.
It's gotten to the point where I just keep feeling more and more jaded about what's happening, that I'm starting to vote for not a person instead of for a person. And that doesn't feel like a healthy way a democracy should be working.
I'm feeling a little pessimistic lately, but that's at the same time, that's why I've been thinking about becoming a citizen. Maybe it's finally time to start voting.
I think people are realizing for the first time that they are a part of the political reality no matter what. And it was easier to kind of sit back before and just say, I'll let those things happen. And now everyone is kind of forced to participate.
If we are intentional about kind of learning the language of each other, we can really start to build either a more cohesive unit and I think also a more equitable future.
It's a feeling of you almost have to. It's not really a choice to not be involved at this point. I feel like work needs to get done, and if I want to be a part of that, I gotta get in there and do it.
My pledge is that I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to become a citizen of this country. I love it here, and I'm not leaving, and I'm staying longer than he is.
Inside of each one of these problems is always an opportunity kind of just lying in the wake. I pledge to tarry further. I pledge to carry on the work. I pledge to not give up.
And I pledge to keep bringing you stories of strength and beauty within our country. I pledge to keep believing that the promise of liberty and justice for all is possible and worth fighting for. What's your pledge? You've been listening to the last episode of the Pledge special mini bonus season. Thank you to all the people who spoke with us, especially Junaid, Wambui, Allie, Chelsea, Eleanor, Jay, Ryan, Marina, and Antonius. Your words and authenticity are inspiring. For those of you on my mailing list, you know that I've started to produce season 2, and I'm asking for support from my listeners. Next season, I'm focusing on the power of young people fighting corporate threats to democracy. I plan to energize you and to remind you of why we should be optimistic. I'm grateful for donations of any size. It makes a big difference. Please go to thepledgepodcast.com for a link to my Fundly page. Thanks so much for listening and for your support. Until next time, stay strong and stick with your pledge.